hours after the U.S. and Iran announced a 2-week truce and plans to meet in Islamabad to firm it up into something more substantive. Israel bombarding central Lebanon without warning. According to the Lebanese health ministry, at least 89 killed. These are live images that you're seeing from Beirut. The Israelis billing it as an operation to take out Hezbollah operatives. For more, we can cross to the Lebanese capital, and journalist Jad Shahrour, spokesperson at the Samir Kassir Foundation. Thanks for being with us here on France 24. First off, this was mid-afternoon without warning. Tell us where you were when that bombardment happened.
Actually, I was going to take my son from the kindergarten, and the bombing started when I was in the middle of the streets, and it was catastrophic. You can hear the rockets, you can hear the missiles, and you see the people, how they are running. Black fog is around Beirut. This was like targeted without any cautions, as the Israelis usually used to do. This was a massive Israeli strikes across Lebanon, including Beirut, South, and Bekaa on the same time. We are talking about hundreds of injured people, and around 30 or 40 people were killed till now. And still, while I'm talking to you and while we were setting up the call right now on the technicalities, I can hear the drone in the sky, and they just around 10 minutes ago they bombed a district near me, around 10 minutes in car or less.
What's it all about? Is this about getting in last licks before the guns go quiet, or is it about blowing up the ceasefire?
Well, nothing is very clear about this, because Israeli says clearly Lebanon is not part of the ceasefire, and the Iranians didn't say that in a very clear or a clear statement. The Pakistani Prime Minister said that it was part of the deal. So everyone is talking his narrative while we are being bombed. So I think now it's one side posed from the part of Hezbollah. They posed their attacks, but Israel is still bombing. This is not a ceasefire in Lebanon. It's a pause between Washington and Tehran while the war here continues.
Jad Shahrour, you're from southern Lebanon. Have you had word of what it's like down there? We know there's been bombings, as you were saying, as well in the Bekaa Valley and in the south.
Actually, I've been in connection with some of the southern families who are still there, and from the early morning, while the announcement of the ceasefire, on the same time parallel to that talks, Israeli was still bombing Tyre and Sidon in Lebanon, two districts in south of Lebanon, and one of the targets was around 9 children. So I don't think so that the Israeli is giving any pause on this targeting. I can say that Israeli says they are hitting Hezbollah infrastructure over 100 targets in minutes, as if this is the second major attack after the Pager one. They did it in 2024, and the ground operations and expansions in south is continue. I can say now we can confirm there's over 1 million displaced, over 1,500 killed since March escalation. Today it proves one thing: the battlefield in Lebanon is active regardless of any regional ceasefire.
Jad Shahrour, we played earlier that clip of the French president calling for a ceasefire. Italy has summoned Israel's ambassador, this after a convoy of Italian UNIFIL peacekeepers was targeted by shots earlier in the day to demand an explanation. What more are you expecting from the international community?
I feel that we are in front of three scenarios. The first scenario is that Hezbollah keeps pause. Israel continues the strikes, limited the retaliation later, and it's gonna be like a short-term stability, no solution. The second scenario is Hezbollah re-enters with fully powered, regional fronts reopen, Iran gets pulled back in. And the third scenario, which we've talked a little bit about it, that the France, EU are pushing to include Lebanon in the ceasefire, international push for a broader deal. Maybe it's like low probability in short term, but I don't think that we are in a very good hands right now. And I feel that Lebanon was not on the table. The war is being negotiated over its head, and still the fight is over our land.
And what about inside Lebanon? Who has leverage in terms of sort of helping to de-escalate the situation? We heard President Aoun again iterate that call for Lebanon to be included in the ceasefire.
I mean, when you look at the government position, the Prime Minister Nawaf Salam accuses Israel of violating international law. The government line remains constant, while saying that war decisions belong to the state, not armed groups, meaning Hezbollah. And the ministers calling for de-escalation, diplomatic solution, protection of civilians. But the gap is obvious. The state is speaking. The war is being decided elsewhere. The government is politically present, but operationally absent, and not because the government does not want to stop the fight, because Hezbollah is doing this, and Hezbollah started the 6 missiles from the south of Lebanon, and we are still paying what's going on. Like, Lebanon today is not part of this ceasefire, not part of the decision, but still we are paying full price of both. Like, I'm doing this interview, and I can hear the bombs in the next districts of my home. I don't know if in the next bombs is gonna be like more closer to my home. This is crazy for us.
And you began this conversation saying that you were with your child when that mid-afternoon bombardment began. How are people like your children taking this?
Honestly, like, we're trying to say that we are trying, wherever there's bombing, try to raise the music, or to tell them that there's crowds on the streets, it's a traffic, let's hear music out loud. We are trying to do like simple things that to tell them that to confront them. But I don't know how such mechanism we can still do till now. Like, if we are in the home in the middle of the night and we hear the drone or we hear the bombing, sometimes I would say, like, someone shut the door very heavy. Don't cry, my child. It's something, someone did that by mistake. But it cannot be like over the night, all the night, like a lot of bombing. What I'm gonna say to him, it's something hard to adapt. It's something that if it doesn't hit you physically, definitely it hits you mentally, especially for the children.
Jad Shahrour, so many thanks for joining us from Beirut here on France 24.